And you see a lot of, performers, wear face paint, do various things. Like Kiss came out full blown face paint as they matured as a group.
And they busted in Detroit first. They broke in Detroit first.
They broke in Detroit. Okay, it's another. Yeah, actually, yeah, I can see the similarity now. It's the same color scheme and everything.
It wasn't us though. They didn't influence us at all.
Not at all.
We were
didn't
into
know
rap.
about that.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about Kiss. I mean, we knew about Kiss, of course.
But later on,
Right.
we're like, holy shit.
What I'm saying is, you see groups that start out with face paint and then kind of move on and then just don't do it anymore. You guys
Never gonna happen.
stuck with it.
Never gonna happen.
There was a guy from Detroit named Esham. He's still around. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Especially to us and our crew, Esham used to come out on stage in a coffin. You know
Like, you that side, chilling, side on the stage, and the coffin would bust up through the side, straight up, and the coffin would open. He'd come out, start rapping. You know what I'm saying?
And
Okay.
he had glow in the dark 666 on his shirt, and we used to listen to that tape and the sky would turn red. You know what I mean? It was like the wicked shit. That's what we called it, the wicked shit. That's what he called his style, the wicked shit. And we also were hip to the Ghetto Boys, and what they were doing, especially the very first wicked shit song that we know of in existence, which was Assassins. Assassins.
Yeah, that might
we heard Assassins back when
the OG one though.
The original version of it,
the OG one.
And man, we just were overtaken by the wicked shit. You know what I mean? That was it wasn't even real because nobody was living that reality.
Right.
Cutting the heads off prostitutes and hide them in the ghetto. That
Killing
shit
your
was
dad
crazy.
Who was a priest, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody was living that. You know what I'm saying? That was beyond
the
anything.
demon screaming as his body bled. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Come on, that shit right there was.
And Esham was coming out on stage with the coffin and everything. And Kid Rock at the same time was on some crazy shit too. He was riding a tractor in his video, in a cowboy hat and dressed like a hillbilly. They were like these defined characters in Detroit. You know what I mean? You had another guy, Awesome Dre. On his album cover, he had two Uzis, one to LL
guns.
and one to
Kumo
Kumo
D,
D,
right,
and he
yeah.
was like this mob figure,
Right.
And these were like really defined characters. So when we came up, we were like, man, Inner City Posse, we're just doing the gang thing. That's not very defined. You know what I mean? We're already the freak show.
LA's doing that shit.
We're the freak show already, and we got the clown in our group who's making all the noise, man. We need to be the wicked clowns. You know what I mean? That's who we are. And so we took that persona. So we put out an EP first called Dog Beats, and that was more like just gangster rap, our version of gangster rap.
That's
Didn't
when we
sound
started
like
the clown
West
flavor
Coast.
play motherfucker too.
And so when we went to do the album, we were like, fuck that. We're going to paint up. We're going to be the Dark Carnival. We're going to be the Wicked Clowns, So our very first album was when we started painting up, you know what I mean? And that's the one that had Kid Rock on it. And we also had Esham on a song.
And did you change the name to Insane Clown Posse at that point? Or later?
No.
Did we?
No, not until before Beverly Kills. We were Insane City Psycho, or what was it?
Well, we just went through different names.
Yeah,
but we
it was always ICP.
There was no amount of time that we were in any of those names.
I mean, back then, you know what I'm saying, when you're small and local, you know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure that by the time the album came out, I think by the time the album came out, we were Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, by the time, yeah, for sure.
At what point did you guys come out and, with the whole clown persona, did you start to see okay, other people are now painting their faces, and this is now becoming a movement more so than just.
I would say about Beverly Kills.
I remember seeing the very first kid
Beverly
ever
Kills.
with his face painted in a crowd. I remember that. Like, whoa, he's painted up like us. I remember the first time seeing that. It was at St. Andrew's Hall.
With Greasy?
No, I'm talking about a fan. Like one kid had.
No. I'm saying which show at St. Andrews? The very first or the one we sold out?
It was the very first one we did.
Okay, with Greasy.
Yeah.
Okay.
One kid had his face painted.
Okay, so
we were like, whoa, I remember that.
Yeah, so it was Beverly Kills. Yeah. All right. Yeah, because then after we did that, we did Magic Bag.
No. Yeah. After that, yeah.
Right after that, and then there was a couple people, and then when we went back to St. Andrews and sold that bitch out. It was like
we sold out our third show ever in Detroit, and sold them out since. You know what I'm saying? Well, we've done shows since then that haven't been sold out, but the point is, our third concert ever was sold out, and then we didn't have like a slow come up in Detroit. We slammed.
Bam.
If we were killing in Detroit for many years before we ever did anything national.
So you guys go from underground Detroit rappers to actually signing major label deals. And I guess
it was a long time in there.
A lot of albums in between there. A lot of independent albums.
Negotiate, a lot of bullshit, a lot of craziness.
Right, because you first started out at what was it?
Was that
Battery Records.
Like what?
Battery Records, which was under Jive.
Yeah. Yep. That was the first
that didn't really work
major
out.
label.
That didn't really work out.
Well, it did. Yeah, it worked out.
It took us. What was it? It took us. What was it? Like fucking 35,000 records in Detroit sold independently before like anybody even looked at us.
Okay.
Because of what we were saying in the whole genre, what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? So nobody wanted to pick up a couple of white guys in clown paint. They had no idea how to market us. You know what I'm saying?
They figured it was just something local.
Right. Exactly.
Some
so
crazy
so
local
Jive
shit.
came along. It was Jive that picked us up, and they put us down on Battery Records. So Jeff Fenster,
they
the
flat
A&R
out told
from
us.
Jive,
They said we don't want you guys on Jive because
gonna
it's
tarnish
too
our shit.
unusual. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
It's
we're gonna
gonna
put you
tarnish
on
our
Battery Records.
They had like the
They
Backstreet
had-
Boys
they had
and
back then, but they had Fushnikin, they had Karis One, they had fucking.
They were a huge rap label.
Yo,
you know?
word
That's
up,
true.
yeah, we couldn't
Too
believe
Short,
it. We're like,
they had
yeah,
everybody,
man.
you know?
okay, I guess the Backstreet Boys came later.
Spice One, yeah.
Backstreet
They were
Boys
there
like,
too. when we were there.
Actually, I remember holy shit, I remember this. When we first started fucking with Jive, it was Jeff Fenster was our A&R guy, and he just started talking to the Backstreet Boys. Or I don't know if he did or like his company did. You know what I'm saying? He was telling us about them. He was like, "Yo, I got these guys called the Backstreet Boys. They're huge in Europe right now. We got them," and we're like, "Fuck out of here, man."
We laughing at this shit. We're like, that's never gonna work.
We're like,
we're
yo.
like some new kids on the block shit. Fuck out of here.
Verbatim. Another new kids in the block shit.
That
This
won't
shit
work.
will never hit. It will never
We
hit.
were laughing at them. We were
Word
actually
up.
laughing like we had
Right.
we knew what the fuck we were talking
We
about.
were right.
and then they went diamond.
We knew right by getting the fuck off of Jive, though. That was a
Right.
stroke of luck, though.
So then after Jive, you went to Hollywood Records.
Well, hold on, though. What Jive did was they pretty much just put us out in Detroit. Well, actually, not even pretty much. That's what they did. You know what I'm saying? They thought we were a local thing. They just put us out in Detroit, try to recoup their money. But what we did was took the money we got from our advance, and bought 3 vans and threw a dart at a fucking map. And one hit Madison, Wisconsin, one hit Dallas, Texas, and what the other one hit?
I don't remember.
Somewhere else. But so we just hit those boys and just promoted the fuck out of them. And we started fucking like
We basically
bubbling
moved
them.
into Dallas, and just started promoting
Madison,
the same way
Wisconsin,
we
not so
did
much, but
Detroit.
Dallas started hitting.
We
Okay.
started doing Dallas the same way we did Detroit. So when Jive came back and said, "You know what, man? You guys got this album up over 100,000, man. We want to do another album." We were like, "Fuck!" We thought for sure we are gonna get dropped.
Yeah,
We were
word
like,
up.
"Fuck you, man. We ain't giving you another record." They're like, "You have to." We're like, "It ain't happening." So there was like a standoff. But right then, our manager ended up talking to Hollywood Records, which is owned by Disney.
Right.
Which is crazy to even think they were fucking with us, but they were, you know.
Right.
And
I think Hollywood had like the Lifers Group, which was a
Yeah,
bunch,
they
of,
did.
a bunch of guys on death row
The one-
doing
yeah,
songs.
And our
and,
guy,
like-
Julian Raymond, who to this day is like such a super guy, you know what I'm saying? Even from back then till now, he's a great guy, Julian Raymond. Like, he told us, he was like, "Look, man, we're owned by Disney." We're like, "We understand that." You know, he was like, "Well, check it out. We're our own entity. We're our own thing." He's like, "Disney owns Miramax. They own New Line Cinema. We put out Freddy movies." You know what I'm saying? We're like, "Okay, you got our attention," you know? Then he's just like, Hollywood Records, in no way, shape, or form, is ran by Disney. We're our own company. They own us, but they don't run us. We're like, "Okay, good." You know?
Yeah,
and
we
they
just
bought our
thought-
contract out from Jive.
Yeah, they actually, you know, they were like, "Man, we can get you off that contract," you know. So we
It's
ended
Disney money. Of course they can.
up, they trusted them and they did. They got us. They somehow got an override. But next thing you know, we're on Hollywood Records, which is owned by Disney. You know what I'm saying? Which
Right.
is really fucking crazy.
And I
Weird
guess
as
the
shit.
album you try to come out with got censored and then
The
dropped.
day
Yo,
it came out.
But hold on, rewind a second. The day we signed with Hollywood Records, Julian gave us these big cardboard tube things. We opened them up. It was like these solid gold Mickey Mouse pocket watches. We're like, what the fuck is
Disney
this?
money.
I didn't even know that. I
I
can't.
changed my shit like a girlfriend. I was like, "You like Mickey Mouse here?" I didn't
I didn't know what the
at least
fuck I
found
did
out
with
what
mine.
that
I was
motherfucker
like-
was worth.
I don't need
Okay.
that.
So the album gets shelved like on the first day or something.
Yeah,
right?
they pulled it out of
that's
stores,
right,
you know,
yeah.
and man, it was crazy because we had a whole tour. We had an in-store tour booked, then a concert tour, and you know, we were doing an in-store in Detroit. It was probably 500 people there, and our manager came in and said, "Man, they're pulling the record." We're like, "Man, we'll talk to you later, man." we didn't even understand what he was saying. And that night it set in, man. Like they pulled the record out of stores. The tour was off. The in-store tour was off.
We called the records off the shelves.
Right. And this was the Great Milenko.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but not before. Hold on. Not before. They made us change a whole gang load of fucking lyrics and shit. You know what I'm saying? When we turned the record in, we did it how we did it, how we're used to doing it. And they were like, blah, 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 blah. You cannot say this. You cannot say that. So what we did, we just we had some busters. We look at it today like, God damn, why did we do that? But we took the record back and we just put slang in, the same words, just slang.
Yeah.
So the suits wouldn't know what the fuck we were talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'll blow a cop's head off. Be like, I'll pull a bucket on a piggy, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
We did everything they wanted us to do. You know, we changed it like Shaggy said. We put some slang in there, but it was the same thing. We said the same shit.
Right.
Anyway, they pulled the record out anyway, and so we started we didn't know what to do. We were kind of confused, man. We started heading down to Myrtle Beach to just go get drunk.
Me, him,
for
and
the
Billy,
weekend.
we were like, fuck it, we give up.
And then in the morning, the shit had blown up in the press. Like it literally blew up everywhere. And our manager was like, "Turn around, come back," you know. And we must have flew from LA to New York like 4 times in one weekend. You know, like dealing with labels, man. We met with Jimmy Iovine, everybody, man.
Neil
like
Cohen, fucking.
Like it was crazy. Everybody was trying to sign us, you know, like because of all the noise that it made when it hit the press about Disney pulling, you know, those controversial record, you know.
And you guys ended up on Island?
Yeah, and they were just offering the most money.
This is before Def Jam though.
Right,
This
just
is
Island.
Not Island Def Jam.
Island.
And we directed. We dealt straight with the president, Human. What's his last name? Human.
I don't remember.
Who knows the fuck? His name was Human. But
he was mad cool.
We had no A&R. We had nobody. We dealt straight with the fucking president of Island Records. You know what I'm saying? It was great, man.
We signed for like a million plus, $1,200,000, something like that. Man,
with
we signed,
no override, nothing.
You know, we had just got the advance from Hollywood. And then we turn around and sign for the same album.
All we had
There's
to do.
no bullshit. We signed the same album and got $1.2 million for that record. Same record. You know
All we had to do was sign a no-clause contract saying we wouldn't talk about it.
Okay, what you're doing right now.
All we did was talk about it. To this day, that's all we do.
So check this out. Craziness, right? Here's craziness. Our next album, it went gold at the time, but it's gone platinum since. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And after that, we put out a double record called Bizarre Bizarre. Those motherfuckers did like 400,000 each, right?
Forgetting about Forgotten Freshness. Yeah. Which one platinum?
So this is a true story. When Island merged with Def Jam, Def Jam came in and they were like looking at the roster. They're like, "What the fuck is this?" They totally didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? And man, our contract expired without them renewing it. Like we're talking about, man, we're platinum act.
Do you want to tell what happened when we walked in when it was Def Jam? We walked into the building.
I don't remember what you talking
about. It being Halloween and shit.
Oh yeah. They didn't want to claim us. Like this is one of our acts. You know, they didn't get it at all. And we walked off that label. Like literally, our attorney called and said, "Man, they got 4 days to renew your guys' contract. You know what I mean? They haven't renewed it yet." And we're just like, "Man, are you serious?" So we didn't say nothing. And they waited for 4 days later. They let it expire and they waited 4 days. Then they called and they were like, "You guys didn't renew our contract," you know? We walked off Island Def Jam and signed for another $1 million, man.
Scot-free.
For another label. Like, for real. Like, we walked right off the label. Like,
there ain't shit they can do about
it.
They let our whole contract lapse.
Just, like, literally.
Because they merged, we got lost in the mix.
Man, we turned around again and signed for another $1 million with another label. This true story. That label went out of business. D3 Entertainment, no lie, they went out of business. After we signed them for $1 million, they went out of business. Now we're like free agents again. And by then, we had built up our label, Psychopathic Records, to the point where we didn't need anybody. And we put out another album. We're going to get it all ourselves. So we stayed on. We never signed with nobody. And we've been putting albums out ourselves ever since.